Hey guys, this is Mike Parker at the Center for OCD and Anxiety in Pittsburgh, PA, and I'm back with another quick tip on how to deal with OCD and anxiety. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all the concept of the vulnerable self theme. And this is going to start off a new series of videos I'm going to do where I'm going to share concepts from cutting edge treatments. There's a lot of new stuff out there, and I want to get this stuff out there to you all so you can benefit from these exciting new concepts, exciting new treatments, and help expand your understanding of OCD and what's going on with your OCD and how you're going to better manage it in your life. So the vulnerable self theme comes to us from Inference-Based cognitive behavioral therapy. And before I even get started, I want to give a shout out to Kate Goldhouse. She is someone who I'm currently taking a training with on inference-based cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's been an amazing experience. Kate is one of the is at the forefront of sharing this new treatment with people in the U.S. It's a treatment that's had some traction in Europe and Canada, and it's just making its way to the U.S. And there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of new ideas getting out there. So I just want to thank Kate for really helping me understand this stuff, and I'm happy I get to throw this up on YouTube and share it with you all. Helps me understand it and helps me get it out there. So what is the vulnerable self theme? Well, the vulnerable self theme is basically the core of your OCD, the thing that explains why you worry about certain things and not others. And it's really suggestive of the fact that OCD always comes back to beliefs you have about yourself. No matter what your specific obsession might be, it always comes back to a core belief about yourself. And in this case, it's a core belief about what you are vulnerable to in life, what you are susceptible to. And it's a very strongly held, deep belief that leads to obsessions, leads to specific obsessions at various points in your life, but it all comes back to that core belief. Now let me share a couple vulnerable self themes with you. And this will be something where you can think about these different themes, and you might be able to identify, yes, that's definitely the thing that I really worry about. That's the thing that I've always worried about. That's the area where I don't trust myself. So some possible vulnerable self themes are, I might become a dangerous person or a violent person. I am rejectable in some way. I am going to be horribly at fault for something. I am going to be horribly wrong about something important. I'm going to lose control or become out of control, or I am out of control, something like that. I'm going to one day be trapped in a horrible situation that I can't get out of. I am incapable in some way. And lastly, I am unclean, or going to eventually become unclean in some way. And so these are these general vulnerable self-themes that you might identify with one of those and use that to explain your OCD and really get to the core of it, right? Because you can look at all your specific obsessions. You know, you're worried about the germs at work, or you're worried about this, but really there's something deep down that you think you're vulnerable to. You think that something bad is going to happen to you for some reason. So think about those different things. See if you can kind of identify what yours is. And just to throw out an example, let's just say someone has someone has a vulnerable self-theme that they are a dangerous or violent person. At some point in childhood, they reason themselves into this belief about themselves for some reason, and they've carried that with them throughout life. Now they are now susceptible to developing certain obsessions when they're placed in certain situations. And so this person has a child, a newborn child, and they suddenly have to start giving that baby baths. And what will happen is this person now finds themselves alone in the house, no one else there, and they're the ones who are giving the baby a bath. They've always worried that they're a violent or dangerous person, and here they are giving their baby a bath, and they suddenly have the thought, what if I suddenly drown my child? What if I just push my baby under the water and just drown my child? What if I'm one of those people? I think I read about a mother doing that once, or whatever the reasoning might be, but I'm vulnerable to that. What if that happens? And suddenly this person is going to be very much concerned about this possibility, and then they're going to develop those OCD behaviors that we often call rituals or compulsions. And so that person might have someone else watch them give the baby a bath. They might ask someone else to be the person in charge of baths. They're going to do something to protect the world from themselves and what they think they're capable of. So the thing to recognize about the vulnerable self-theme is it explains all your obsessions, and it also sends you on a very OCD path through life. And what I mean by that is it causes you to constantly explore possibilities and what-ifs about yourself. And so you're constantly doubting yourself, you don't trust yourself, and then you look at, like, what if I do this? What if this happens? And all of these possibilities you start to explore always bring you into your head to experience these possibilities in a very believable way. You doubt yourself in reality, and then you think, well, what if this happens? And what happens is you are always thinking about what you might do. You're always thinking about what you possibly may do, and it takes you away from what is actually happening in the real world. And so that's the OCD trajectory that this vulnerable self-theme leads you on. Just constantly thinking about what if, constantly doubting yourself, doubting your senses, doubting what you know, doubting your ability to use your own common sense, and asking reassurance to other people, checking, all those OCD rituals. And so the goal of treatment, once you identify your vulnerable self-theme, is actually to debunk this vulnerable self-theme. OCD has tricked you into believing you are uniquely susceptible to these things, and the truth is you are not. That is always the case with OCD. It's always a trick that leads you to believe you're susceptible, you're vulnerable, and it's always been a little bit of a trick by OCD to get you to believe this. And it's never been actually something that you have been vulnerable to. So treatment's about debunking that and then helping you start to trust yourself again and realize you are fine and you're capable and you don't need to be doing all this extra stuff that OCD has you doing. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's the vulnerable self-theme. Wanted to share that with you all today. Really important concept, really helpful concept. I'll be sharing more concepts like this in the future. And if you did like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. That'll make sure that you get more of these videos in the future. And until next time, take care, guys.